Hello everyone, this is Shivpriya Temat. Welcome back to our channel. Technology can be addictive, especially for children and teenagers. With screens virtually everywhere, monitoring the screen time of young kids can be challenging. And to complicate the things further, some screen times are for educational purpose and also for child's social development. Today we are going to discuss about how to manage the screen time for young children and their technological usages. So why is it important to manage the screen time? So limiting the screen time is essential due to several reasons. The very first one is the excess usage have a very severe negative impact on their span of attention, their focus level, their creative thinking capability and their ability to engage in imaginative play. In second, it furthermore disrupt their digestion and their food eating patterns because they are sitting somewhere idle, not roaming and not getting up and doing physical activities. Then they will be having disturbed sleeping patterns because they are much more exposed to the blue light coming from that, and in leading to behavioral issues, and in the end they will be very poor with social communication skill. So as parents, it's your duty to find that sweet spot where you are allowing them to use the screen time for engaging and entertainment purpose, still ensuring that your children don't end up being a couch potatoes. So unstructured physical plays have a very greater role to play in the initial days of children and are much beneficial for brain development rather than any electronic media usage. And also pediatricians discourage the usage of digital platforms and all except video chatting till the age of 18 months, and while they become 2, by the end of them being a toddler, they can be exposed to some kind of programs of music, movements and stories, of course with limitations in the time period. And also parents should sit and watch it together, so you can ensure that their concentration is all over the video rather than any applications. So now we are going to talk about cooperative steps on managing and limiting the screen times in young children. The very first one is owning and controlling the gadgets. When the computers, online devices, phones and video games belongs to the family members, elders or parents, the children have to ask for permissions, and this step could be difficult to initiated or created in an early age. We can bring a habit of having limited screen time in children, which they would do voluntarily in their teenage years and tweens. One of the simplest method could be putting away all the online devices and phones in home at a particular time along with the shutdown of internet. So this could make sure that they are not getting dependent on the screens and have a self-control, and also the parent have a check. The next step could be creating a family culture over the screen time. So in many families they go on war over the screen time. So it would be very helpful if they try to establish a family culture over the screen usages and technologies. So for this they should initiate or bring upon a basic framework according to the age of children and the use of technologies in the families. So by thinking upon all the factors and areas, come up with basic rules which is friendly for everyone in the home. It means all children and elders. And for this you have to make sure that as parent you will be following the rules first regularly and not breaking it often. By parents doing the same, it will be a greater example and also will initiate a greater connection between the family in longer run. The next step is talking about the online safety. By looking upon the age and the development in your children, have an appropriate conversation and discussion about the digital traps such as cyberbullying, sexual predators, and protecting your personal information while using screens, especially phones, computers, etc. So as parents, what you used to know in the age of 4 or 5 is not what your kid know in the digital era. they know much more. So giving appropriate instruction is also a very important matter. Even though if they are using it for 1 hour or 2 hours, giving proper guidelines is very important. So by doing this, you are making a space between you and your children where they can clear their queries and doubts, and also could ask help without hesitation when it is required. So the next step is setting screen free times and so on. So rather than having screen time and so on, it would be helpful and friendly if parents create screen free time and so on. For example, bedtime, meal time, family area, gardening time, reading time, etc. So in the bedroom it is not required at all. We are going there for resting. The same goes with dinner time. No phone in the table, and it would help children concentrated on eating. So they will be eating in the right manner and right proportion, and will also have social interactions. So it would initiate better bonding with family members too. The same goes with reading time. If they should grasp the information in better manner, they should not be distracted. So no TV should be running in the background. Rather than saying limitations, okay, only this much time for screen or TV. So it is easier in implementation too, and would also reduce the distractions in children, and they would be giving much more attention in that particular work or area where they are in. The next step is brainstorm alternatives. So mostly when parents say to their children that they can't do, they shouldn't do something, the curiosity in children get high, so they want to do it more often. This happens because parents always forget to say what they can do in alternatives. In this case, where we have to manage the screen time, parents should come up with a list of activities in your child's area of interest. It can be drawing, artwork, doing cycling, reading a cartoon book or stories, preparing snacks with your parents. All these can be an interesting thing for your child. So parents should come up with their interest activities which would help in diffusing the tantrum that they are going to throw when you switch off the TV, and also not expose them to the shows which are of a 30-minute span of time. You can limit their exposure in 30 minutes and take them out for doing another activity which will excite them as much as the TV shows. So by implementing this, you can help a lot in taking off their dependency in the screens. The last step is restricting the usage of gadgets when they are bored, stressed and disinterestful in the particular activity they are engaged. So many times when your child is reading a cartoon book and they are getting bored, so they would go and switch on the TV. So the TV will be running in the background and they will continue with reading the book. So what happens here is their attention is divided into both areas. So neither they are getting entertained fully, nor they are grasping the information from the cartoon book fully. So what happened here? They are not enjoying or they are not learning properly. So parents should stop this in the very initial days itself, where they are finding solace in technical gadgets, for example TV. And in the present era, people use much of YouTube, Instagram and all for relaxation. So they should be giving their whole attention to that particular thing happening, rather than dividing their attention into two. So while growing up, the children will end up being very much dependent in gadgets and social medias for relaxing, and also they would not engage themselves in any other activities in their free time. Finally, managing screening time for young children can be a crucial responsibility for parents in the digital era. And parents shouldn't be scared and shouldn't make your child scared about the whole process. Try to foster an open communication with your child about the processing of managing the screen time, and by the end implementing right methods and setting up creative alternatives for screen, parents can help the children in coming up with healthy relation with the gadgets and technologies. For more parenting insights, stay tuned and thank you for watching.